Hey guys, it's CrownJewel602 and I'm coming to you guys with the second part in my basic series. Just getting beginners familiar with just the terms, brushes, things like that we use. So the first video, which I will link right here, is the basic terms that you might need to know. And this video is just your basic brushes, and I'm not going to go over every single brush, it would take forever, but just your basic brushes, what they look like and kind of what they're used for. I'm trying to keep this video really short. Also, this is the new trend of doing glitter on your lips, and I will link that video somewhere in the screen, whatevs. Okay, so we'll get started. First, of course, we're going to do eyeshadow brushes, and I just basically got three different types of eyeshadow brushes for you guys. This one is a dense, and what we mean by dense is that it has a lot of hairs compacted in and it's stiff. This one is just your normal eyeshadow brush, nice size, pretty standard, and this one is a fluffy, obviously because it's big and it's fluffy, eyeshadow brush. This one is used more or less for sweeping a lot of color onto your lid if you just want to do a wash of color. This one obviously is more to staying towards the lid, as well as this one. And also this one is good for smudging. So that's your basic eyeshadow right there. Now, in the crease area, you can use pretty much, I broke it down to two different kinds of eyeshadow brushes. There's more than that. Actually, I'll give you guys three options because you might see that one too. But this one is more of a blunt, chopped off cut, and this is, you know, a crease brush for your, and this one is a tapered crease brush because it comes to a point. So this is going to give you a more precise line of color. And this one, and you're not going to see it very often, but you might see it's cut at an angle. It's a doe foot. And this is just basically makes it easy, I feel, for beginners, because you basically place the color on and drag it across, and that's your crease color. So those are your crease brushes there. Now we'll move on to eyeliner brushes. There's two different kinds, and these are used for like cream, gel liners, things like that, but they look like that. I did a double liner video where I used these, so you guys can check that out. But this one is called an angled, they're both angled eyeliner brushes, but this one is obviously cut at a diagonal angle. And this one is great because you can see what you're doing while you're doing it. And what I mean by that is when you go to put this one on and you go into the center of the eye, your view is obstructed through the mirror. Whereas this one, the whole time, you can see. So those are your basic eyeliner brushes. Now we'll move on to like this is your basic brow brush. You guys have seen this plenty of times. It's got the brush here, and then it's got the comb where you can comb out your lashes. I use this a lot when I'm getting ready to do my brows, obviously. So there's that. These are your synthetic brushes, and this one is a concealer brush, and this one is a foundation brush. And this is for your, for your your concealer, and you just basically place it underneath. I use it to put the concealer right underneath my brow so it gives me a crisp edge. And this one you can use, for concealer, or I mean, it's kind of big, or just when you're putting on your foundation and you want to get it on there before you buff it in. This is more for application. And they're synthetic, so they work well with creams and liquids. And that's what those look like. Now, lip brushes. I have two different kinds of lip brushes. This one is really good. This is the Sephora one. This one's really good for like getting a slight nice edge, because it comes to a pretty nice taper there. And this one I think is great for, and it's capped. It's great for applying product, like when you just want to get it all on there. Most people who use makeup for themselves and not professionally don't have a need for lip brushes. However, if you have a lip palette, then you need obviously a lip brush to dip into the product, because it doesn't come in a tube. So that's your basic lip brushes. Now we're going to move on to some face brushes. This is a blush brush. This one is actually a dense blush brush. If you wanted a fluffier blush brush, then that would be this one. But they're both for blush. I mean, and they come in all different sizes. This one is a tapered blush brush, and that one's by e.l.f. and it's a little more soft. So there are those. This one is great for buffing in foundations. Again, it's synthetic, you can tell by the color. Good for buffing in foundations or cream blushes. And it's very, very soft, and it's just good to get your foundation in there if you did not want to use something like this. And it's just all about your preferences. Now this is a powder brush. It's good for dusting on your powder onto your face, buffing it in, getting it, you know, in the corners, and just covering a nice amount of area, because you can see how big it is, in a little amount of time. Now when we speak about stipple brushes, it basically is a dual fiber. It's because it gives you a light application and it gives you an airbrush effect. And they come in big like this, and these are good for creams, blushes, foundations, whatever. They come in big sizes like these, or they can also come in a smaller size, which, like this. This one's a smaller one, which I use for cream blushes, or sometimes highlights, because you don't know how much, you know, you can build it up. These are great for building up. And then the last face brush, you guys have probably seen this, is called a kabuki brush, and it's basically a big, huge powder brush. And this is great for putting on your powder, just getting a nice amount of coverage in a little amount of time. Also, what I use it for is when maybe I have too much of a concentrated blush color on my cheeks, and I just get this on there, and it helps to spread it out and lighten it up when I feel like I have too much blush on. And then the last two brushes I'm going to show you are fan brushes, and they come in different sizes. And fan brushes can be used for anything. I mostly use them for like whenever I'm putting on eyeshadow and I have fallout and I want to get it off from underneath my face really fast. That's what I use this one for. And this fan brush I like to put my highlight on with, because you just basically dip the fan brush in the product and then you fan it on the tops of the cheeks. So there are plenty more brushes that I could talk about. Like, I have probably like 200 brushes, so I could talk all day. But I just wanted to give you a basic overview of brushes, because it was brought to my attention when I did the Sedona Lace brush review that one of my subscribers was like, I have no clue what the brushes are even for. So that got me to thinking about doing this video. So I hope that all of this was helpful for you guys, and when you go out and buy a brush roll, now you're not so overwhelmed as to you don't know, how to use them. So I hope that that was helpful, and until next time, stay beautiful. Peace, YouTube.